How we doing? How we doing? We back. I'm your host, J Pop. We back for another one. Hope y'all doing well out there. It's another beautiful day for music. Y'all already know what's happening. Got a lot going on in the world. So let's start it. Things I want to go. Let me do the rundown. So we got prison riot, y'all. It's crazy. So Washington, well, it's a Georgia state prison named Washington. The 3 dead, 12 injured, 13 inmates. 2 of them, well, it's actually 15, but 3 of them died. It's a big brawl that happened inside the prison. Then we got Georgia legislature revives cap on rent hikes bill, which is dope. But is it? We'll be looking into the details on that. Then we got the crucial aid funds for poor communities infrastructure. They are dismantling that whole thing. It's pretty bad. Cutting the infrastructure for poor communities in Georgia is terrible. We're going to go over the article. But let's get started with this prison break. Well, it wasn't a prison break, it was a riot, but sounds like things got a little out of hand. So give it a second. All right. Later. I'm not subscribing right now. Come on, y'all. Y'all know me. I ain't got money for all that. Come on. All right, here we go. So, Georgia prison fight kills 3 inmates and injures over a dozen, including a guard. Fighting that broke out at a Georgia state prison over the weekend left 3 inmates dead and injured a corrections officer and 13 more inmates. The Georgia Department of Corrections said Monday. Wow. Yeah, so it was. The agency said the violence erupted in an outdoor area of the medium security Washington State Prison, and that guards used non-lethal weapons to subdue the fighting. It said the situation was under control within about 90 minutes. Ooh, that's a long time to be hooking. That's all I'm saying. That's a long time to be hooking. Anyway, visitors were safely evacuated after some injured inmates entered the prison's visitation area. The statement said. The agency said it believes the episode was gang affiliated, but gave few details about what happened, including how the 3 prisoners died. A Department of Corrections spokesperson did not immediately return phone, email, or text messages seeking further information Monday. Ooh, that's interesting. Interesting there. Video posted to social media showed at least 20 inmates running along an outdoor walkway enclosed by security fencing. Some of the inmates appeared to be holding clubs or other makeshift weapons. The footage was posted by the Human and Civil Rights Coalition of Georgia, which advocates for prison rights. The group said the footage came from an inmate. Interesting. The coalition posted another video showing fighting that it said was recorded December 13th at Washington State Prison, which has a capacity of about 1,550 inmates and is located about 130 miles southeast of Atlanta, according to the Department of Corrections website. Oh my goodness. That's wild. So it was one of the inmates that sent this video to the Human and Civil Rights Coalition of Georgia. The group said the footage came from an inmate. Interesting. All right, all right, all right. Um, let's see here. Relative says one inmate was killed days before his release. It's like they're just letting them run around and do whatever, said Michelle Lett, who told the Associated Press her nephew was among the inmates killed. They weren't trying to stop nothing. They were just running free in the prison. Wow. This really? I mean, maybe. Like, you never know though. You don't, I mean, we don't really get to see really what's happening in these prisons without being in the prison. You know what I mean? So, ugh. Let's say her nephew, 42-year-old Jimmy Lee Tremel, had been transferred to Washington State Prison in Georgia recently ahead of his scheduled release Wednesday. She said a warden called Tremel's brother late Sunday to tell him that Tremel had been fatally stabbed in a fight. Unofficial word of his death had already reached the family from an inmate with a contraband cell phone. Obviously, there's cell phones in there. If they're, you know, filming footage of riots, wow. The Department of Corrections confirmed Tremel's death in its statement Monday, which said he was serving a 20-year sentence for burglary. Also killed were Amon Dwayne Hatcher, 23, and Teddy Dwayne Jackson. Rest in peace, y'all. 27. The agency said both Hatcher and Jackson have been convicted of aggravated assault. That's terrible. But you want these facilities to be, you want it to be constructive. You know what I mean? You want it to be able to rehabilitate these people so that they can, that they have a chance to be out, in society. I mean, you don't want to just lock all of these people up forever, You want to have a system that promotes reconciliation and rehabilitation um instead of ingraining that violence and ingraining all of these bad things that's in the culture anyway in prison. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, let's read just a little bit more. The violence was predictable considering Department of Corrections records indicate Washington State Prison has been badly understaffed, said Atia Holly, deputy director of the Atlanta-based Southern Center of Human Rights, which advocates for better prisons with fewer inmates. She cited July figures showing that 72% of staff positions authorized for Washington State were vacant. Wow. This is a big point right here. And I've been seeing a lot of commercials. They'll pop up a lot of ads for like Georgia corrections hirees, yeah, so that's pretty wild. But yeah, the story continues and it talks about earlier violence and whatnot, and they've really not had a situation like this for many years. um Homicides later rose to 66. That's in a year, from 7 to 20. Ooh, rising number to 35. So it was 7 people in 2018, and it was 30. It rose to 35 in 2023. Then homicides in 2024 doubled, basically, almost 66. Wild, wild. But yeah, check that out. The state has pumped more than 600 million in new spending into the Department of Corrections in recent years. 600 million. Man, I tell y'all, like, they just be throwing money at it, and it don't be getting any better. It's crazy. It's crazy. Where does it go? And the like the conditions in these prisons are usually pretty terrible too. So I don't know about this one. I would have to check on this one, but yeah. So that's that. Hopefully these folks are okay. Um, yeah. Ooh. The report, which followed a civil rights investigation, found sophisticated gangs run prison black markets, trafficking in drugs, weapons, electronic devices such as drones and smartphones. Investigators also cited a rising number of homicides in Georgia prisons from 2018 to 35 in 2023. Yes, yeah, that's a big one too. That's a big one too. You know, they got these sophisticated gang rings, in the prisons. So yeah, we got to fight back, you know, for all of that stuff. These people got rights too, even though you know there's human rights. It's whether you're a prisoner or a criminal. Now you got less protections, but you still got some rights. Um, yeah, still got rights. All right, let's move on. In the bag. Uh, this one's kind of a big deal. Georgia legislature is reviving the cap on rent hikes. Yo, the cap on rent hikes is coming back. They brought it. They introduced the bill last year, uh, but it didn't get enough play because of a lot of stuff going on. I think they introduced the bill in 2024. That's what it was. I think this article talks about it, but found it in it's. Let's see. Let's go down. 2026. Mm, mm, I don't know, but all of this is very good information about this. So let's see. Georgia lawmakers are once again taking aim at rising rent costs for seniors, filing a bill that would limit how much landlords can increase rent costs for those aged 62 and older who rely primarily on Social Security. The renewed push comes as more seniors across the state say steep rent hikes are forcing impossible choices or pushing them out of their homes altogether. I count change every month. That's what Cindy Ivy, 66, knows that pressure all too well. She lives in a small apartment in Calhoun, sleeping on her living room couch after being priced out of her previous rental. Uh, Ivy survives on Social Security and disability income and says every dollar is already accounted for. I count change every month, she said. When she first moved into her last apartment, rent was $600 a month. Within 2 years, it climbed to $900, a 50% increase. This kind of happened to me too in when I was renting an apartment on the east side. Like I think my rent started out like, oh man, what was it? It was like 850 or something like that. It was something reasonable, like it wasn't too bad. But by the time I left that apartment, my rent was like 1150. It went up like, a lot. It went up like $250 or something like that. It was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, and no changes, nothing changed in the apartment complex. They were just raising the rent, you know. And it's wild. I think mine ended up being like a 18% increase, but 50 is crazy. I'll lose my mind, bro. I'll lose my mind, bro. And then you doing it to my grandma? Nah, nah, bro. See, see, this is the type of stuff that make people upset. You know, people want to get confrontational. With this type of thing. My grandmother, dog. My grandmother, under Georgia law, those increases are illegal. The state does not cap rent hikes, but for senior citizens on fixed income, lawmakers say the math simply doesn't work. The Senior Citizen League, important league, a nonpartisan seniors group, found in its 2025 senior survey report that 73% of American seniors over the age of 62 depend on Social Security for more than half their income, and about 39% depend on the program for the entirety of their income. Almost 40% of seniors in this state depend entirely on Social Security. Uh, yeah, that's a big fact right there. A point to home study found renters aged 65 or older in Atlanta are renting 46.6% more than they did 10 years ago. When asked what happens if rent keeps rising, Ivy didn't hesitate. Handing out tents, she said, because we'll be up under the bridge homeless. Those stories are what State Representative Amani Barnes, District 86, says motivated her to refile the Senate Senior uh, St- Senior Stabilization Act. I can't speak today, yo. This legislative session, yeah, this one. We have senior citizens who are being evicted, Barnes said. Let's humanize that. Put your grandma and your grandpa out on the street. That's what I'm saying. That's crazy. The bill would cap rent increases at 10% over 2 years for renters 62 or older whose primary sources of income is Social Security. So this is what the cap actually is right here. It's not really a cap so that landlords can't raise the rent. It's really just you can't raise the rent more than 10% over 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So like mine was 18% over the course of like 2.5 years, 3 years, I think 3 years. You know, so you know, it's weird. I think it's gonna help. You know, it's gonna help. It's gonna stop landlords from raising it too high on senior citizens, and then it gives senior citizens a way to you know, defend against these price hikes because of inflation. And I think it talks about cola. Um, it does. It talks about while Social Security includes annual cost of living adjustments, cola, many seniors say those increases fall far short of real world expenses. For 2026, the cola increase is 2.8%. So right now, adjusted for cost of living inflation, is 2.8%. For Ivy, that amounts to about $32 per month. Power went up, gas went up, my rent went up, my insurance went up. She said, so there goes that $32. I don't even get to see it. With no room left to cut costs, Ivy says another rent hike could leave her with nowhere to go. I have nowhere else, she said, so it is scary. For now, she's hoping lawmakers act. I just pray that they do the right thing, Ivy said. What's next? The Senior Stabilization Act will need to clear committee hearings before it can advance to a full vote. Savannah Levins and the 11 Live investigative team will continue tracking the bill as the session unfolds. So yeah, that's that one. That's wild. But hopefully we can get this bill to pass cleanly through our houses, our state legislative branch. All right, let's move on. This is the last one today. So this one talks about different communities across the nation, but I just wanted to really focus in on the Georgia portion, which is Thomasville, Georgia. This is like, the county borders Florida. It's way down south, you know what I mean? But um it is a poor community. So let's read a little bit from the top and then we'll skip down to where they talk about Georgia. All right. So this is Cahokia Heights, Illinois. Yvette Lyles thought of the modest brick ranch home as a Christmas present for her family. It was close to a state park where she and her kids could picnic, fish, and enjoy the outdoors, a place to make memories. But she soon learned her southern Illinois community had a big problem. Reoccurring floods from heavy rains sent untreated sewage into the streets, yards, and homes where they buckled floors, cracked walls, and damaged belongings. The first time it happened after they moved in, her family was trapped inside for days. I had to turn my back so my children wouldn't see me cry, Lyles said. Um, Cahokia Heights, a mostly black city where about 1/3 live in poverty, is among scores of communities nationwide with aging and decrepit wastewater systems that can put people in their homes at risk. Exposure to untreated sewage, which can enter homes by backing up through plumbing or via floods after rainwater overwhelms sewer systems, can cause illness. Such problems are often in rural areas of declining cities without the money or expense to fix problems on their own. Now, hundreds of millions in grants and loans promised by bipartisan infrastructure law and former President Joe Biden's administration to address racial and economic disparities have been canceled or targeted for elimination under President Donald Trump. The Trump administration eliminated the Environmental Protection Agency Environmental Justice Office as part of its war on diversity, equity, and inclusion, along with grants to hundreds of projects for infrastructure and climate adaptation in underserved communities. This is a big one. This is what they're talking about. This is the meat of the whole article. The rest of the article is basically about this. That included $14 million to install septic tanks in majority black Alabama counties, where many residents must pipe sewage from their homes into their own property because it has nowhere else to go. In Thomasville, Georgia, the EPA canceled a $20 million grant, almost half, to address aging sewage lines in historically black neighborhoods. The agency said it didn't align with administration priorities. The Trump administration also has proposed deep cuts to state revolving loan funds for drinking and wastewater projects. The Biden era infrastructure bill allocated nearly $50 billion to those funds, where almost half meant for disadvantaged communities. They not gonna see that. Congress is considering a compromise bill that rejects the deepest cuts, but would allow lawmakers to direct about half the money to pet projects rather than allowing states to allocate it. So it touches on different areas. They just touched on 3 different areas there. Uh, Cahokia Heights in Illinois, Thompsonville, Georgia, and Alabama. These majority Alabama counties, which is Loud Lowndes Lowndes County. I think it's out there next to Montgomery, and it addresses a place in Mississippi. So it bounces around to different towns, and um it's really interesting. Let's see. There is another spot about Thompsonville. Let me see if I can find it. See if I can find it. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Oh man, it talks about California, 8 million from Biden grants to help struggling communities. Mm. 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 Maybe I missed it. Maybe I went too far. Yeah, but it's mainly about like rural counties, the infrastructure of these cities in these rural areas really need help, and there was money allocated for them, you know, but it's not. I mean, it's not really being sent to them now. Ooh. Oh yeah, this is yeah. Y'all can go check this out on Georgia. What is this? I don't even know what this is. Georgia Public Broadcast website. Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. Um, yeah, check that out. It's a good little article. But with that, y'all, I'm gonna get to the beats. My favorite part. My favorite part, dog. It's all I really want to do, dog. Make some beats, man. I hope y'all doing well out there. I hope everybody taking care of themselves, taking care of each other. I'm just here chatting about the crazy malarkey that's happening in our world right now. I do this to raise awareness, build awareness about the world around us. Uh, but yeah, let's get on this beat and get out. How about that? Play a little drums on this beat. Play a little drum. Go with some of these indie kits. Honestly, that went way better than I thought I was gonna go. was it. That was it. That was it. That wasn't bad. I need to do another one with a different ending. Try this again. Oh, messed that up. Messed that up. Take this away. There we go. That's probably gonna be my regular one. You know what I'm saying? Then I can mix and match the endings to my desired taste. That works. This sound down just a little bit. Just wanted to be felt, you know, wanted to be felt. But I also would like to add like some sort of effect. I remember when I used that sound, That's all I need with that. Yes. Give it to me. Yeah. Don't take much, y'all. Oh, none of this is in the mixer except for the drums. Fantastic. Fantastic. Command L, everyone. Everything is in the mixer. This is my guy right here. I'm going to put a fruity filter over him. And I'm going to create an automation clip, of course, on the cutoff frequency knob here. I'm going to create a ongoing slope here for this automation. It's the sound it creates. Alright, so probably should just keep these. So this one, keep the strings out first. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we got this. First take. First take. We got it. One take Jake and this guy right here. Yeah, you don't want too much going on, you know what I mean? This these keys are already a lot. Doing a lot of the work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These are my drums right here. Yeah, y'all, that's pretty much it though. That's all I got. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Much love to y'all. You know what it is. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people around you. I love you. And I'll see you back here tomorrow. Appreciate it, y'all. Much love. Y'all stay safe out there. Stay sane out there. You know what I'm saying? Hold on to your peace of mind. Love y'all. Peace.